Here's my hot take as a doctor. I totally agree. It is okay to be fat. It needs to be normalized. If you are fat, that is okay. It is typically not a problem that requires immediate solving. It is not an emergency. You don't have to drop everything in the pursuit of being not fat. It is okay to not be healthy. We act like it is this moral failing, this cardinal sin that you deserve a scarlet letter if you are not healthy. And there's a name for that, and that's called healthism. A good doctor will not judge you for being fat. They will not judge you for being unhealthy. If you are someone who wants to lose weight for health purposes, and there are certain scenarios where losing weight can be health promoting, we're here to help you with that. We are also here to help you if you decide to not make any changes at all.
Yeah. Tell me you're running a eugenics operation without telling me you're running a eugenics operation. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of just absolutely crazy and wild news to get into today, as of course the situation internationally is not all right, but domestically it's just as tumultuous, as of course there is an uprising right now happening in Germany with some very important people in our society, particularly the farmers, deciding to stand up for themselves, their liberties, their futures, and their rights to just exist in society. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, explaining to you what's really going on in Europe, which might be happening all over the world very soon in this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast, I really was hoping was going to be satire, was really hoping it was going to be some kind of Ryan Long, Danny Polishuk skit, but you could usually tell by the eyes, and no, this looks legitimate, this looks real, and this is absolutely horrifying, and once again adds to the complete, utter destruction of individuals' health and well-being through the Rockefeller-inspired, funded, and bought-off pill-popping business. As one person puts it, overweight patients equals continual revenue stream, as it's fair to say that there definitely is an agenda out there to make you fat, sick, and dumb. As a lot of people are also pointing out that this lady probably is a dermatologist and probably has no idea what she's even talking about. This, as almost everything is upside down in our modern day society, especially when it comes to domestic immigration policies that have led to horrible situations that are now unfolding in places like New York City, where gang violence is taking over immigration centers to the point where people are losing their lives. As just a couple moments ago on Randall's Island, where many migrants are being shipped off to, there was a gang-related incident of two military-aged men that got into a fight and costing one of them their lives. But don't worry, these military-aged fighting men in California also get free health insurance and the possibility to sterilize themselves as well. All wonderful policies brought to us by the Democratic Party, represented by Joe Biden, that many predictive markets experts and analysts are saying won't even make it until the next 2024 election because of his health. And you look at the predictive market, there's not a lot of people that could be taking his place. But old Yeller isn't going out without a fight, as of course recently he just gave a speech bragging about how people were sentenced to 840 years in prison because of an incident that happened at the U.S. Capitol 3 years ago. This, as the U.S. government is now going to be going after individuals outside of that incident, as the Biden administration literally is at a point where one of their top members in the chain of command at the U.S. military, Lloyd Austin, the head of the Department of Defense, literally is sick for almost an entire week without even anyone being notified or knowing about the situation. This says, of course, there could be a war started in the Middle East at any moment, at any time, specifically dealing with the situation in Yemen, and the top military brass literally go missing and no one knows what's really going on here. And if that doesn't give you confidence in the system caring about you, I don't know what will. And with the system being as incompetent, as inept, as horrible as it is, literally going out of its way to make your life miserable, we try to make your life the best possible version it could be. And we do that through LukeUnfilteredDotCom, our own members area where now you could sign up for just $8 a month. We have a new tier. We also have a $99 tier that offers you an incredible amount of value, one-on-one communication, one-on-one consulting, conversations with me and my staff and my team of experts that you could have just for signing up for $99 a month, $8 for everyone dealing with, Bidenomics. And a part of that, you also get a special video report later on today about some really interesting issues that, of course, we cannot get into in this particular video. Again, a special report, a special video available for members right after this video, all on LukeUnfiltered.com, as you guys also get the chance and opportunity to call into our live podcast show. We're going to be doing another one from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern later on today on this channel, as of course, members also get the ability to call into the show and ask our guests whatever they want. The shows have been doing incredibly well. They are 2-hour-long podcast shows. Yesterday, we had Tom Woods on. He was an incredible guest that brought us some very interesting insights that were definitely worth paying attention to. And again, the show was absolutely incredible yesterday, joined, of course, with our co-host, Clint Russell of the Liberty Lockdown podcast. We're doing some really awesome, incredible things on the podcast show, so make sure to click the subscribe and notification button in order to get the alerts when we are live coming up here, whenever we get a guest, a really awesome, incredible human being in studio, or if there is some breaking news. As of course, this week, we're also going to be embedding with the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign. We're also going to have a lot of really amazing people on our show. You could be a part of all that in more ways than one just by simply signing up right now to LukeUnfiltered.com. Click the link down in the description below, scroll for which kind of membership you want, and I will see you there right after this broadcast with a special message available just for members of LukeUnfiltered.com, our quasi-secret, not-so-secret society that we share a lot of really important health, wealth, and advice when it comes to living your best life in the face of a lot of adversities that are just slowly becoming normalized all over the world, with some people saying, I've had enough of it. This now including German farmers that are making a big stand in Germany as they have now successfully blocked off dozens of highways with the assistance and help of German truckers, Polish farm workers, and are deciding to take action when it comes to nonviolent civil disobedience. This, as a lot of people are comparing this movement to other populist movements like the Yellow Vest movement, the Truckers Canadian movement, highlighting some clear major actions made by regular, everyday, average citizens who are sick and tired of the government using and abusing them. Elon Musk recently just replied to a post from a journalist on the ground there, Eva Valerdinger-Burekovic. I'm sorry, nothing personal. I'm just not really good at pronouncing names. As she commented, no farmers equals no food, with the second caption that reads, quote, they are the one of the few groups in society with enough manpower to put up a real fight against the globalists who want to radically change our way of life, which Elon Musk responded to by saying support the farmers, as the protests are nationwide now. And they're putting on a lot of pressures on the government that wants to tax farmers more and get rid of a lot of incentives and programs for farmers that are all a part of a 2030 UN globalist vision that wants to make the weather gooder by making life more difficult for everyone else and, of course, more expensive. As the price of food has already gone up in Europe, specifically because of the conflict in Ukraine, because of the rules, because of the regulations, because of governments literally coming into places like Ireland and saying, well, because we want the weather gooder, you have to kill off all of your cattle. You have to stop farming. You have to stop producing food for human beings. Those are the literal policies that many governments all throughout the world are following through these arbitrary UN declarations made by some really awful, horrible human beings that literally are making it more difficult for everyone to survive. These are not just government economic and agricultural policies that are implemented in just Germany. This is a coordinated effort that needs to be called out since these policies are wreaking havoc on everyday life of average citizens and individuals, as many top globalists literally want you eating bugs, while of course the richest people in our society get to eat filet mignon steaks. And if you look at a lot of these policies and a lot of these energy ministers, like the German one, they're all connected, not just to the United Nations, not just to the World Economic Forum, but other groups like the Bilderberg Group that have been coordinating a lot of these larger plans and initiatives that essentially shoot countries' interest, policies, and people in the foot. And if you look at what Germany has been doing, specifically when it comes to its deindustrialization, especially when it comes to its destruction of nuclear clean energy, its involvement in the blowing up of the Nord Stream pipeline, its dependence now on more expensive energy through reckless foreign policy endeavors inside of Ukraine. It all coalesces, it all centers about making life more difficult, more expensive, and more favorable towards an upper echelon's ruling elite class that wants to control the citizenry more than it ever wants to help them. And whether it's electric, whether it's gas, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's construction, all German industries are going down because politicians are making life more and more difficult. And now we have the rise of the German farmer saying enough is enough, as we keep getting video compilations like this highlighting major protests, major demonstrations all throughout the country in what really is amounting to an incredible show of force that is definitely something worth paying attention to, as there's even a lot of reports of other countries joining suit as the noise is becoming very apparent and something that the state might not be able to ignore. An incredible show of force that is definitely worth noting, as already we have the corporate media trying to say that these blue-collar, hardworking individuals are somehow tied to the far right, as of course there has been no implications of this, but this is the usual smear campaign that we have seen used and utilized many times over in order to lie about particular populist movements that galvanize the left and the right. Why not just try to slander it? Why not just try to destroy it by putting it in a nice little corner that could be conveniently attacked by the state? That's what they're trying to do right now. Will they be successful with it? Probably not, as of course a lot of people are just sick of the status quo, sick of the politicians, sick of the globalists interfering in their lives and telling them what they can and cannot do. That's a ridiculous notion, especially when it comes to larger delusions of grandeur to trying to control the weather. Getting rid of local farms, getting rid of mom and pop decentralized individuals who are there and are able to help themselves and their communities isn't helping anyone but the state that wants you dependent on its bureaucratic teeth. And that's one teeth that I refuse to put in my mouth and suckle on. You will not get me to suckle on your bloodthirsty, pus-filled globalist teeth. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. If you are an individual who will prioritize decentralization, liberty, and, of course, personal freedom. That's the line being drawn here. Where do you stand on it? You want that pimply, pus-filled little teeth? You want that? Do you want that, Bobby? Or are you going to stand up for yourself? That decision is yours. The conversation continues on LukeUnfilteredDotCom. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys signing up for the memberships. I'm sorry, Atlas. Atlas is the co-host. She's there. She usually sleeps, but you know, I was a little bit more animated. I'm sorry. Who's a big dog? Atlas is a big dog. Atlas? Atlas is a good dog. Atlas is a good dog. He's a good dog. Good dog, I love. That's it for me. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.